Okay, I want to talk about the top three worst and best movies I've seen this year. And keep in mind that I have not gone out and seen every single fucking movie this year. So just keep in mind, okay? I've seen some pretty shitty movies this year and some great movies this year. There has been a couple that were good. One I just saw today being Aquaman, that was good. It wasn't really that good, but it was good because there was so much cheesy moments that I found so fucking funny. But I'm gonna do a review on that. Anyway, like I said, so we're gonna go over. So here's how the structure works. There's gonna be third best, third worst, second best, second worst, and so on and so on. So we're not gonna go to three, two, one, and then three, two, one. If that makes any sense. Okay, here we go. On the best list for number three is Infinite Warfare. Not Inf- Infinity War? No, Infinity War. There we go. I don't know why I put IW and I always think of like Infinite Warfare for some reason. I don't know. Okay, Infinity War. No, yeah, Infinity War. Okay, Infinity War was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. My second favorite MCU film, number one being Captain America: Civil War, and it was just a great movie. I do have some gripes of it. Some of the CGI could look absolutely awful. A specific example being in the last scene where Captain America and everybody's sitting down. He says, "Oh God," and you have the Hulkbuster in the background. Terrible CGI on the head. The head's all cut off, and Bruce is in there. Terrible CGI, absolutely god awful. Some of the CGI for the War Machine suit was really really bad. Like in the CGI for when they in Wakanda when they were going over to the battle area and those big ass ship things, that was terrible. Some really god awful CGI in this movie, and also the pacing felt a little off at times. And I feel like there was way too much comedy in the movie. It was a very serious matter, and I understand that, I can get like the Guardians of the Galaxy and stuff like that, but the fact that there was just ridiculous amounts of comedy is really stupid because this is a movie you need to take serious, and lots of people are like, "Oh, this movie's so dark." It only gets darker like the last 15 minutes. So, you know, I don't know. Take that for what you will. I do have quite a bit of gripes in the movie, but the great, the good parts are great. They're absolutely fantastic, and I really really enjoyed this movie. However, I do feel like the new Iron Man suit, like once again, looks like shit with the CGI. It looks awful, and some of the CGI on Titan just looked bad. There was lots of shitty CGI in this movie, but some of it was great, like in Nidavellir and stuff like that. Anyway, here we go. Number three worst is the Death Cure, Maze Runner: The Death Cure, and on my old channel I made a video about this, talking about why this movie was fucking retarded and nothing really made sense, and I got a lot of hate for that. But this is one of the worst. This is the second worst Maze Runner film. The only good one, in my opinion, was the first one. The first one was good. It wasn't great. It was good. Then you had the second one, which was god awful, one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And then a third, which was okay. After rewatching it a few times, it's okay. Some of it is bearable. Most of it is not. And I found the most frustrating moment of the entire film was Teresa's death. It was so frustrating because she could have jumped. She could have at least fucking tried, but she didn't. It felt like a really lazy and just stupid way to kill her off, and it was really retarded. And yeah, it was a pretty shit movie. I really didn't enjoy it. Thomas had little to no emotion for what happened. He was just kind of numb to everything. Where, if we look at Chuck's death in the first one, he was fucking bawling, crying, what people would do in that situation. Where, when Newt's death happened, he was just like, and walked away. It was just like, what the fuck is this shit, right? It's ridiculous. Number two best is, and it's just so close to the number one best, is Into the Spider-Verse. This movie was like, this is the best Spider-Man movie, like hands down, the best Spider-Man movie. It's far and away the best over everything else, okay? This movie is absolutely fucking fantastic. It's a masterpiece of both animation and storytelling and just beautiful animation, beautiful action, a great storyline. The epic moments and the epic moments of the epic music and stuff like that, it earns it. That's the thing of a lot of these movies, a lot of the epic moments and, oh, let's rise up and all of that. A lot of them don't earn it. This movie earned it, okay? And what I loved about this movie is that it took Miles forever to actually pick up being Spider-Man. It was great. So much memorable quotes here, and I loved all the different Spider people. It was just really fucking cool. And I just really, really enjoyed it. The villains were weak. I do think the Prowler was fucking badass, though. The Prowler was absolutely fantastic. The villains, a lot of people don't really mention this. The villains are weak as fuck. Okay, they're really, really stereotypical villains. The villains are god awful. Like I said, they're really fucking stereotypical, really cliche. They don't really have a lot of backstory. They don't really bother going into any sort of amount of depth besides like Kingpin. But that's about it. And that was kind of frustrating, but at the same time, that was the only complaint I could really come up with the movie. The movie was absolutely fantastic, and I haven't read the comics for Miles and stuff like that, so I never saw the Prowler reveal actually coming. I never saw that happen, and it was just like my jaw fucking dropped because in no way, shape, or form did I ever think he was the Prowler, and it was fucking nuts. It was truly nuts. The movie was a hell of a ride. I love the pacing of it as well, and it was great. The number two being Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. This movie fucking sucked, okay? The format of the movie was very, very similar to the first one, and the actual final fight was almost the exact same thing as what we had in Jurassic World Jurassic World, the first one. It was almost the exact same concept as the first one. It was absolutely ridiculous, and the plot was god awful. There were some cool moments, like when they were going away from the island and all the dinosaurs and stuff in the background were dying. That was kind of sad, and it was like, holy fucking shit. But that's about it. The whole movie was pretty god awful. It was really boring and just overall shit. And there wasn't enough action scenes between the dinosaur v dinosaur. I always love seeing dinosaurs like beating the fuck out of each other. And unfortunately, there wasn't really that until the end, and it still wasn't really that good. And a lot of it felt very, very cheesy, very, very cliche in a bad way. Where Aquaman is, Aquaman, the movie I just saw, is very, very, very cheesy, but in a good way. And yes, it's actually possible to do that. Austin Powers. But anyway, yeah, it was okay. The number one, we're gonna go over to the number one worst, and we're gonna do number one best. Number one worst was far and away Pacific Rim Uprising. This movie fucking sucked. The comedy was god awful. None of it landed at all. The villain was complete horse shit with just stupid ass motivations, and the plot devices were fucking retarded what they actually used for it. There was the characters were complete god awful characters. They were really fucking bad. I think his name is John Boyega. Was a pretty bad role, and then they had the little kid, which was completely fucking useless. And the music was awful. Everything about this movie was awful, besides the action scenes. The action scenes were great, but everything else fucking sucked. I really did not like this movie. Like I said, this is far and away the worst movie I've seen this year. And if you haven't seen it, you should to experience the god awfulness that was this movie. Don't see it. You're gonna regret it. That's for sure. Anyway, number one being the best. This was so fucking close with Spider-Verse. And that is Mission Impossible Fallout. This movie is absolutely fantastic. It is the best of the entire series. Edging out Rogue Nation for me. And this movie was just fucking incredible. The pacing of the movie was fantastic. It took itself actually seriously and had a bit of comedy in it, which was nice. I wish there was more movies that did this. It needs to be serious and all that shit. It's a serious matter. It needs to be serious, but at the same time, you can add in enough comedy to keep the flow going. If that makes any sense. The movie had just fantastically done action scenes. The plot was very complex, and what I love about the movie is you actually had to pay attention to know what the fuck was going on. A lot of these movies, you can kind of just sit back, eat popcorn or whatever, and just watch the movie, right? Where with this, you actually had to pay attention to the movie to understand what was going on, which was great. Lots of different twists going on that I really didn't see coming. I was like, holy shit, that's cool as fuck. And just so much cool shit in this movie, and I absolutely enjoyed it. Classic Mission Impossible kind of stuff, and it was great. It was a great mix. Oh, and Henry Cavill was fantastic too. The fight scene specifically in the bathroom, the bathroom fight scene is one of the best fight scenes I've ever seen in a movie ever. It was truly fantastic. The hits felt real, and it was just fantastically directed. Everything about this movie was absolutely just amazing to me. like I said, the thing that I loved about this movie the most was the pacing. The pacing was fantastic, and it was a direct sequel to Rogue Nation. So you really have to see Rogue Nation to really understand what the fuck is going on. And man, things got really intense the last moment because there was a flash, and I actually like at the flash, like when fucking Ethan was on the little ledge thing on the mountain, and there was a flash, and I actually thought the place got nuked. I'm like, holy shit, but it didn't. And I'm just like, oh, thank fuck. It was truly amazing, super intense, and it was fantastic. Some of the action scenes were just truly fucking nuts, especially the helicopter one. And by the way, all of these are real. They barely use any CGI in any of this. All of these are completely real, and it's like fucking Tom Cruise, dude. That dude is just nuts. I love the characters in it too. The characters were fantastic, including the villain too. The villain was fucking amazing. I really, really enjoy him. I thought he was his voice is badass. His intentions are cool as shit. I love the kind of rogue kind of shit going on with him, and it's awesome. I love this movie, and you should go out and see it if you haven't. It is absolutely fantastic, and it is the best movie this entire year that I have seen. I haven't seen Get Out or any of that. Was Get Out even this year? Not Get Out. Quiet Place, was that even this year? I don't even fucking know. Anyway, there you go. If you enjoyed this, please like, comment, subscribe. Whatever you do to support the channel is greatly appreciated. And yeah, peace.